Alright, it's October, and you know what that means, right? You guessed it. A month of nothing but Halloween-themed games. Yeah, ain't I original? Anyway, you know what I like doing? I love playing games that people say suck, because 9 times out of 10, they're just misunderstood. Take, for example, Fester's Quest. Now, this game is crapped all over by everybody on the internet. They say it sucks, it makes no sense, it's too hard, I don't like it, Well, you know what? Whether it's a tinge of nostalgia, or whether I just like crapping on preconceived notions, I love Fester's Quest. I love it more than I love that car outside that interrupted my take, but I'm still gonna go on with this take because you know why? I love Fester's Quest that much. As a kid, I played the hell out of this game. Never beat it as a kid, but I loved it. And people say this game is horrible. Why? I don't understand it. Alright, yeah, sure, it's a diamond in the rough. With a little more polish, it could have been golden. So today, to start off the month-long celebration of Halloween, a holiday I never celebrate anyway, we're gonna play Fester's Quest until we win. Fester's Quest has some flaws. Actually, it has a lot of flaws. In fact, you might even consider it a recycled game. It was released in 1988 by Sunsoft using the Blaster Master overhead engine. As anyone who played Blaster Master could tell you, the overhead engine was flawed. The biggest problem are the enemies. They don't stop respawning. Walk far enough to the right and the enemies on the left simply respawn. It's a problem, especially when every enemy takes a boatload of damage to dish out, and your gun is, well, it's impotent. Unless you've got your gun power maxed out, the gun is almost worthless. Each level of the gun gives you more power, but also changes how it's fired. You go from a gun that fires relatively straight, to one that fires bowling balls that travel in a circle, usually around your enemies, to a gun that fires triangles in a wavy pattern. Now, the problem isn't the gun itself. That's actually a really neat mechanic and unique. The problem is that your bullets will always hit the walls, limiting your attack range. And believe me, you'll spend a ton of time in narrow corridors that will cause your bullets to do nothing but hit the walls. The next problem with this game are the bosses. They're way too easy to learn, but have way too much health. Until you figure out what to do for each boss, you'll play through the entire game over and over and over again, just to die at the same boss and try it all again. It's annoying. And it doesn't help that you've only got 2 bars of health. Yeah, that's right. Unless you find the hidden health power-ups, you only get 2 hits until you die. This is a huge problem, as you'll see later on. Okay, problems aside, let's talk about what's good about this game and what I see that apparently nobody else sees. This game consists of 3 game maps and several smaller indoor pseudo-3D sections. The game map consists of 3 different levels: the main world, the sewers, and the alien ship. It's pretty awesome actually, because each map is continuous. To access different areas of each map, you have to travel between the overworld and the sewers to unlock different areas. It's actually really very intuitive for an NES game. The world is pretty big too, with lots of houses to explore and small side paths to go down. The graphics are pretty damn good for an NES game. Houses look like houses, trees look like trees, and everything generally fits well. You feel like you're traveling through a real neighborhood in any town, USA. The aliens, as strange as they are being in an Addams Family game, are actually very varied, ranging from simple spitwads on the ground to huge boss monstrosities. There are also a variety of weapons and items in this game that you can acquire. Money is more useful than some of the other reviewers will let on. Specifically, money lets you buy hot dogs at the hot dog stands, which replenish your health, something you'll be doing a lot of in this game. The light bulb lets you see in the sewers. You'll need to use 1 light bulb every time you enter a sewer, so stock up. The key lets you unlock doors, mostly houses, and the houses that lead to bosses. The gun power-up, well, powers up your gun. The gun powered down powers down your gun. We'll get to that in a bit. The whip power-up and the whip power-down do basically the same thing. Let's take a moment to discuss the power-up and power-down aspects of the gun and the whip. Much like Blaster Master, you can gain and lose power for your weapons. The only difference here is that you don't lose power when you get hit, instead you lose it when you get the powered down items. It's annoying and pretty cheap for the game to just randomly drop a powered down item. Fortunately, they're not random. Blue gun or whip items are power up, while red items are power downs. And if you're like me, when you were a kid, you played this game on a black and white TV, which completely screwed with you. The vice grips are incredibly useful. When you're stung by mosquitoes and slowed down, the vice grips return you back to normal speed. TNT is essentially a time-delayed bomb. It's not very useful, and you're not going to see it used or even acquired in this video. Missiles are extremely useful. They're essentially homing weapons. You get 20 of them, and I recommend conserving them for one specific boss. The potion will restore your health. The noose is a very rare weapon to find. Once you use it, lurch will appear and wipe out the enemies on the screen. I never found the noose in the game, and to be honest, it's not that useful. The invisible potion makes your character flicker for a short while, making you invisible and invulnerable to enemies for a short time. There's also one more thing you'll notice on the item screen. It's called Clue. Really, it's not a clue. If you watch the game introduction, you already know that aliens have invaded. The clue is actually just an indicator letting you know how close you are to the final level. You know, the one thing I really liked about Fester's Quest when I was a kid was the fact that it really looked like a neighborhood. Fester could walk around and go to hot dog stands, knock on doors, and otherwise walk around the neighborhood. My imagination would just go wild with the possibilities. Could Fester go over there? Who lives in that house? What else can I do? Sadly, the game itself is far simpler than that. It's mostly just a maze, and figuring out where you need to go is very simple. So simple, in fact, that I'm not going to tell you how to get to the stage bosses. Really, if you need a walkthrough or a map for that, you're doing something wrong. I will, however, talk about the enemies, because there are a ton of them, and almost all of them are hard as nails to take down. Spores. These are the first enemies you run into, and the only reason they exist is to help upgrade your level 1 gun. Shoot them until your weapon is upgraded, and then move on. Frogs. These things can be a pain in the ass because they don't stop respawning. If you get in just the right position, you'll end up spawning an infinite amount of frogs and never be able to move forward unless you have a really powerful gun. Now, the frogs do vary in power. Blue frogs are the weakest and can be taken down easily. They just hop around. Orange is slightly stronger than blue. Green frogs are much stronger than orange frogs, and they can attack with their tongues. Red frogs are the strongest and the most dangerous since they shoot fire in 3 directions. The floating heads. I don't know exactly what they are, but they spawn maggots and flies. The maggots can be killed before they turn into flies, and the flies themselves slow you down considerably. Take these guys out from a distance if you want to avoid being slowed. Rats are mostly found in the sewers. These guys just follow the walls and are very predictable. They can easily be dispatched with your gun. Slime. These things are annoying as hell. They'll respawn as you hit them. It's a small green puddle of goo, and man, is it hard to get rid of. If you don't have a powerful gun to dispatch of them quickly, they just keep splitting and respawning. If you do end up with an endlessly respawning puddle, simply leave the area and come back to try again, or use TNT to blow up all of them in one shot. The grasshoppers, I don't know if they're really grasshoppers, but that's what I always thought they were. Anyway, they're not too bad. When you shoot them, they jump into the air like maniacs. Just keep shooting at them and eventually they go away. The small mutated mouth thing. I have no idea what the hell these things are. They're small purple mounds with mouths that can burrow under walls. They're annoying. Much like frogs, they tend to endlessly respawn, and if you don't have a powerful enough gun, they can overwhelm you. Shoot them from a distance and take them out before they bite you in the ass. The Spider Metroid. These things look like Metroids on spider legs, and man, they're annoying. They keep running towards you. When you hit them, they run even faster. The easiest way to get rid of them is with TNT or a full-powered whip. Your best bet, though, is to run away from them since they are hard to kill. Ghosts. These things bounce around on the screen kind of like grasshoppers. The problem here is that they move faster as you hit them, so you can move under them as they jump, or you can time your attacks to take them out. Personally, I just run away from them since they're so slow. The spiny green monster. These things are the upgraded version of the slime since they split into multiple parts. They're harder to take down, but they're very slow, so you can just walk away from them instead of trying to take them out. The walking mounds. I don't understand these things at all. They travel along the floor, occasionally stop and shoot 3 projectiles at you. They're pretty easily taken out with a full-powered whip, so just kill them. The orb skulls. These guys are annoying as hell. They're big skulls with 3 flying orbs around them, which they use as a sort of projectile, and every time you hit them, they attack you with another set of projectiles. Don't waste your time on these guys. Try to avoid them and move on, otherwise they just keep killing you. The giant claws. Much like the orb skulls, avoid these guys at all costs. Every time you hit them, they attack with an energy bolt. They're not worth taking down and they're slow, so avoid them and move on. Now let's get to the heart of the matter, the bosses. When I was a kid, these things kicked my ass. They move fast, they hit hard, and if you die, it's back to the beginning of the game with you. The first boss is an alien with really long arms that he uses as his primary weapon. He's not hard to hit, just shoot at him and he takes damage, but his arms can be a bit of a pain to avoid. His pattern is really easy. He attacks with his right arm, his left arm twice, and then again with both arms. The only thing you need to worry about with this pattern is the timing. Once you learn it, it's just a matter of dealing enough damage to the guy, and like every boss in this game, this guy has a ton of health. It'll take a while to bring him down, even with a maxed out gun. Keep at it though, and he should go down pretty easily. The next boss is, I don't know, a Triceratops with whips? I don't know, imagine if Germany made a Scheiße porn of Jurassic Park and you'd get the idea. Anyway, this boss is very annoying because you can't get out of his range of attack. He'll stand right in front of you and mercilessly wail away at your health. There's a rhythm to this boss. Essentially what you need to do is move towards the side of the attack. When he whips to one side, start moving to that side and be in the spot as the whip retracts. This will give you a chance to attack him before being forced to move to the other side to avoid getting attacked. Once again, this boss has a miserable amount of health, making this battle harder than it has to be. Stick with the pattern though, and you'll be alright. The third boss is some kind of mutated form of King Arthur. He has a shield and attacks with a sword. He'll move with you, much like the last boss. Eventually he'll charge his sword, which looks like electricity building up in the sword, and swing it at you, firing 3 bolts of energy your way. There are 2 things you need to learn with this fight. First, you cannot hit this boss while the shield is in front of him. You'll have to wait until he swings his sword, which is the only opportunity you'll get to hit the guy. Second is learning how to avoid the electrical bolts. This is a bit of a pain, but once you realize that it's just a spread fire attack, you'll be able to move to the right or the left to avoid taking damage. The fourth boss is a large monster with a shield in its right hand and a gun in its left. It fires, once again, a 3-way spread with its gun. It's invulnerable to most attacks thanks to the shield, and it likes to jump up and down continuously. Damaging this boss involves hitting him in the head. Essentially, you have to hope that the boss walks into your line of fire. Really, it's a crapshoot. The best method for beating this guy is to waste all 20 of your missiles to take him down. Don't worry about wasting the missiles though, because every item you've unlocked will be replenished when you beat a boss. The fifth boss is a dinosaur with T-Rex legs, 1 eye, the ability to spit fire, and he wields a gun. Wow, I really just said that sentence. Alright, the worst part about this boss is that he has a ton of health. In fact, every boss has had more health than the last, but this guy just feels like he's got a ton of energy. This guy's pattern is pretty rough too. He'll always keep you in his line of fire, then stop moving for a moment, spit a fireball at you, then immediately fire his 3-way gun at you. The good news is that the guy is a lot easier to hit since he doesn't have that damn shield. The bad news is that hitting this guy is almost impossible. Really, what you need to do is concentrate on avoiding his attacks first, then get in an attack every once in a while. Kill him to move on to, well, the final boss, the alien ship main computer. This son of a bitch is not easy. You're gonna die. A lot. This computer has 2 mounted lasers that track your movements perfectly, which fire exploding lasers. On top of that, there's another cannon that fires energy balls that track your movements based on a sine wave. Both the lasers and the cannon fire fast, frequently, and perfectly. Almost. If you don't have missiles or invisibility potions, I have no idea how you're supposed to beat this boss. I've tried over and over to beat this guy without either, and I just don't think it's possible. First, the lasers usually put you in a corner, and if they don't just outright kill you, the cannon attack covers enough of the screen that you're basically screwed either way. If you have an invisibility potion, good for you, just kill the thing. If you don't, like I didn't, then you need to exploit a glitch. Head to the upper right corner of the boss fight and stay there while launching your missiles. Thanks to the laser's inability to attack in corners and the sine wave of the cannon attack, you'll be perfectly safe and be able to take down the computer in 20 missile hits. Once you do defeat the computer, you will get one of the dumbest endings I have ever seen in my life. Aliens in the Atom Family world, dinosaurs with whips, guns, and swords, and a gigantic computer that fires lasers and a sine wave cannonball. All to save Gomez, and have a bunch of people lose and then generate their arms in the air. Fuck, I need a drink.